Good evening, everyone. Welcome to MBA Karo. So, NMAT 2024 has started, and so is the examination season of MBA entrance examinations. And some of you must have appeared on the examination today itself, and a lot of you will be appearing in the coming days. Uh, Earlier, NMAT used to start in October itself. This is the first time they are starting in November. So this time they have a shorter window of around 45 days. And previously it used to be like more than 2 month window. As a ritual, I appeared on the examination on the very first day, and the earliest possible slot in my city. Okay, so I don't know if there was a slot before that also. I took the earliest possible, that was 12 p.m. one. Okay, but when I was filling the sheet over there, it mentioned that slot two. Maybe someone had 9 a.m. in the morning also, but don't know. Let's discuss that what happened in the examination, how I found it different from other years. Okay, and probably some of the techniques that will help you, the other aspirants, to nail this examination. Okay, the first of all, if you are new to this channel, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel. This is the only channel where you will get the best content for all MBA entrance examinations, and all authentic content, right? First hand experience. As you can see that, like on the very first day itself, I appeared on this examination. Going forward, I will be appearing in all the examinations, be it CAT, ZAT, SNAP, even the small ones like MyCat, okay, or be it XGMT, SRCC. I appear on all examinations. So that is the only place where you can get content for all MBA entrance examinations. Okay, so let's talk about uh, the paper and its difficulty, etc. So this is my scorecard. Worst performance in the last few years in NMAT. Okay, and I cannot blame that the paper was tough. Right, it is as it was typically the NMAT paper. The only thing was I stuck in some of the questions. So I must admit that in the logical reasoning section, I fumbled in a couple of sets in input output, and even the puzzle was quite challenging. So that uh, scale down the score, right? So in quant, I did decent, getting 95, although I was expecting that I should have got 100 plus. Provided I got almost all questions correct, like not all, maybe three or four incorrect at max. But quant, you cannot say that how they scale the scores. In language skills, 83, I'm fine. Like I generally get in mid 80s to late 90s. In LR, the score went down, right? Last year, I think I had 97 or 98. So I had a decent score. This time I struggled in LR. So I got an overall score of 262, but that does not mean that the paper was way too tough. Compared to the official mock which I took, yes, it was tough. I found that it was time consuming. Okay, and a lot of you must have appeared on the test and must have compared that how it was with respect to the official mock. Okay, so did you appear in NMAT today? Okay, so Jack is getting 285. Great, then you must be sure shot in into NMMS. So congratulations. 257, yes, very high chance of conversion. Just do well on interview. Okay, 245, Michael Anthony, great. 245 also could be a good chance, provided your sectionals are all clear. Okay, and for NMMS Mumbai, the cutoff would be around 235 only. Okay, so if your sectionals are healthy, provided you do good well in that future rounds, 245 plus can ensure that you will get the admission. Okay, all right. So let's now discuss the pattern. Okay, the number of questions same, nothing changing in the number of questions. A bit of variation in certain things like number of questions was the same. Different people will encounter different things within sections, like some people in language skill may get 2 rcs, some will get 3 rcs. I got 3 rcs. Some get di sets, some people will get 2 di sets, some people got will get 3 di sets. I got 2 di sets. Last year I had 3. Previous to that also I had 3 di sets. Okay, same goes with logical reasoning. in logical reasoning, the puzzles, especially that input output thing. This year, like last year, I had one input output per attempt. Okay, prior to that also, but this time I had two sets of input output, and usually people get one sets. But when I spoke to some of the students who appeared on the examination at the center, uh, three of them said that they had two input output. So could be possible that many of you might have got two input output this time, or in the coming slots also some of you might encounter two more input output. Now I was conducting one video on input output where I was taking up sessions on word based input output, and it turned out to be that one of the sets that I got was word based. Okay, now if I talk about this thing, like if you're a first timer, so you must know that you can choose the order of sections in the beginning, and as you can see in the official mock, the same interface you have, you can drag and drop the order of sections. There is no negative marking, and you cannot skip a question. A lot of students think that like they spend a lot of time in a question. So it is not possible to skip a question. You have to attempt a question and then only you can move ahead. Okay, so you can mark questions randomly and move on. You cannot go to a previous question also. Okay, so that is the case with NMAT. Now this was the distribution, the breakup of the questions that I had got in the paper. Now if you talk about this the language skill section, I had three RCs. All these RCs were around 300 to 350 words. Okay, usually you get in this range. NMAT RCs are 300 to 300 to 400 words. So this was the range of the uh, the word length of these passages, just a rough estimate. And there was RCs on increased use of chats and internet messaging, the how people have started communicating more over internet messages than formal communication, right? So that was that. And there was one question on seed bank, that there are some people who there are some places that preserve seeds. Okay, so that was there. And then there was another one on superfoods, like superfoods like omega 3 and some other superfoods, how their consumption can be overconsumption can be harmful to the body. Okay, although they are considered healthy. So these were the passages. And if I talk about the questions, I found that typically non-NMAT type questions also. Non-NMAT type, I mean that there were questions on critical reasoning also, right? Like, for example, one of the questions was main idea in one of the three. Another was one question was on assumption in one of the three passages. I do not recall which one. There was one question on tone of the passage. There was question on main idea. So it covered all different types of questions. Okay, assumption, main idea, author will agree or disagree. Those kind of questions were also present. So this was the uh, I mean, not very difficult questions or not that cat level, but definitely I encountered such questions for the very first time in NMAT, that I found like at least 4 or 5 questions on critical reasoning. The reading level was easy though, easy to read, easy to comprehend, but options were closed, right? I found at least 2 3 questions out of these 12 questions where the options were closed. Okay, so all in all, the level I would say from past year, it has gone up a bit. Maybe not that cat level, but uh, lower than that, but definitely more than what was previous years, what I've encountered in NMAT. There were 5 questions on parajumbles. There were 3 questions that had 5 sentences, and there were two with 4 sentences. And again, like if you compare your official mock and the last year's, okay, last year maybe many of you may not have attempted NMAT last year, but I found parasamples also to be a bit challenging, right? In fact, when I was attempting that official mock, I realized that parasamples were very easy pickings, but I realized that it was slightly a notch above what was in the official mock. So definitely the official mock which I took was below than what was in the actual examination. Actually, what happens is the level remains the same, but this thing I encountered in language also. There were like parajumbas, there were close options where it was not straightforward one. You had to think and solve it. Okay, error spotting, there were 6 questions. Now error spotting, a lot of questions on subject verb agreement, and we took one session also on our YouTube channel on these, and we have one grammar rule book also, wherein we have these rules explicitly mentioned. Like one of the questions I remember was error spotting that involved the use of the word mathematics. Okay, so mathematics is not plural. Okay, so whenever you have a subject which ends in s, it is not plural. Okay, so that was one of the rules that was asked. Then there were some other rules also which were tested in error spotting. So grammar was easy. Fill in the blanks, preposition based, easy. One of them was phrasal verb based also. Single blank two, wherein you are given a passage and you have to uh, put uh, a sentence, not a complete sentence, but you would say that like some 5 6 word long thing, and double blank are 2 blanks with 1 word each. Okay, so pair of words. Now these things, the rest of the things I found easy. Analogy, there were 5 questions. They involved like synonyms, antonyms, general awareness, etc. Okay, so that is what was the breakup of the language skills section. So a notch above the official mock which I attempted the other day. Okay, so in case you wish to improve your English and you want to practice English and improve your grammar, etc., so we have a grammar course, okay, in which we have a grammar rule book. So it will be very helpful if you wish to improve your grammar, because I encountered that most of the error spotting questions, the rules are all present in this grammar book. Plus it will also help you for prepositions. You can get 3 to 4 questions on prepositions, and we have covered all these things. And then we also have vocabulary powerhouse, which will help you for analogy. And then phrasal verbs and idioms. So this book is not only helpful for NMAT but also for all other MBA entrance examinations that test verbal ability. So if you want to improve your these aspects, grammar, vocabulary, etc., so you can check it out on our website. Now, talking about the logical reasoning section. So it was 50-50, like you have typically in NMAT 50-50% of analytical reasoning and critical reasoning. That is how it is balanced in most of the scenarios. Although at times there is a slight difference, like it could be 16-20, right? Or it could be 15-21 at max. But this time that was 50-50, perfectly balanced, 18 questions on, or I guess critical reasoning was more, if I count it. There it appeared that almost equal. So this time I had 3 puzzles, input, output also I would count as puzzles. One was arrangement. Now I would say that it was difficult as compared to, like, I found these 3 things moderate to difficult. Okay, that consumed a lot of time. I'm generally good at these things, but compared to the NMAT level which I have been appearing in the past, this is the thing which I found difficult in my paper, and as a result, I ended up spending more time on these questions, although got them right. But later on, realized that I could have done, because I marked some of the critical reasoning questions randomly in the end. So one could have done better by solving, skipping these questions. So arrangement based question, there was like 6 people. Okay, their ages were given, right, and they were occupying different berths of like middle berth, side lower, side upper, upper berth. So there were 6 different kind of berths that they were sitting on. And then there were questions like some are 3 are male and 3 were female. Okay, so their names A to F were given, so you had to arrange them. So some of the conditions were given, so it was a challenging one. Plus it involved numbers also, that sum of ages of, now if someone struggles with, although that was a very basic logic, that the sum of ages of females is so and so less than the sum of the ages of the male members. Okay, so like if you have never ever done such kind of problems, then you would struggle in that very first statement itself, although that was not a difficult task. But arranging them, that one statement said the person was sitting on side seat. Now side seat can be side lower, side upper also. Okay, so that was the case. input output number based, it did not click to me. Maybe it can click instantly to some people. Okay, but it did not click to me instantly. I took time in solving this. Okay, next there was word based. That was also not so straightforward. Like, unlike you have all in alphabetical order, so it had something like first word in alphabetical order, then second step, second word in third position, then in fifth position, then the next word in, like this is the first word, second word, third, fourth word, fifth word, or something like this, and then again shuffling of elements. So some sort of uh, weird kind of arrangement. So I found it quite tricky. Okay, now there was one question on syllogism, one on fact statement. This was a difficult question for me. Difficult because there were given four facts and five statements. So definitely not worth attempting, because you have to read four facts and then make five statements and tell which of the following are also facts. So usually it is 3-3 or 3-4, but this was, I found it quite challenging. Syllogism was easy. Venn diagram. So for the past couple of years, I've been seeing that logical Venn diagram is being asked. So logical Venn diagram, find ones, doable ones. Order ranking based one question. Like, there are some people in a row, some like the position of three people were given and their respective positions, and you need to find that how many people are in that row. So that was this question on order ranking. Then there were, in fact, I think two questions on number puzzle. I have written one. Maybe I counted something else extra. So maybe Venn diagram was one and number puzzle was two. Okay, so I think that, while there were two number puzzles, one was moderate, one was difficult. One I will show you today. Okay, and then there were, like, if you talk about the critical reasoning, there was statement, conclusion, course of action, assumption based, inference based, argument based. Argument, you have two types. One is strong and weak argument, and another is strengthen or weaken the argument. Okay, so both types were present, and there were some questions like course of action, like 3 to 4 statement course of action were given, right? Some of them including strong weak argument. There were four arguments each, right? Four arguments, and asked that 3 to 4 arguments were given in a couple of questions. Okay, conclusion also, there were, I think, one of the questions, one was paragraph based, two were paragraph based, one had like 3-4 conclusions. So it was a good difficult paper for logical reasoning also. It was, the critical reasoning part was also challenging. Equally challenging was analytical reasoning. So I found logical reasoning level above the typical NMAT level, and especially if you look at the official mock which I have attempted, definitely I would say that it was more difficult than that. Okay, yes, you do get clocks, calendars, questions also. Okay, so it is not that some people say that you do not get questions from this. It's rare, but you do get questions from those topics also. So we have a special course for critical reasoning also. So in case you find that like you are appearing on NMAT for the first time and you struggle in critical reasoning, we have built a special course for critical reasoning, which is unique, and like no one else provides this, wherein we have 25 tests with 20 questions each, and they are in the NMAT test interface. So you get a habit of NMAT test interface also, and it is at par with what you get in the NMAT. Now coming to the quantitative skills section, right? This time, like, you have this bifurcation of two or DIs, three DI sets. Till last year, I had three DI sets. This time, there were two DI sets. One was bar and line graph. That was easy. That was percentage based. Now, there were a couple of questions which were based on simple annual growth rate and compound annual growth rate, right? If you are aware of rule of 72, how many of you know rule of 72? Now, this I found that it was a good question. Not many people would know how to do it, but yes, some people who know rule of 72 would have answered that question. Okay, if you are aware of rule of 72, then you would have answered that question. It said the number doubled in 9 years. Okay, and what was the percentage rate of increase, compounded annual growth in that number? Okay, so that was the case. Okay, so that is thing was tested. One question was simple annual growth rate. So percentage based questions. One should be clear with these terms. What is simple growth? What is compounded growth? Okay. Then there was a caselet on sale of vehicles, which was again easy. Data sufficiency. Two were on SICI. Quite surprisingly, like the first two questions that I had in my paper were both data sufficiency, both on compound interest. Okay, now when I attempted those two, the first question, I moved on to the next question. I found ki, acha, ye the same type of question. I was a bit confused that whether it is just some refreshing of the previous question also. Then I saw that it is like what it is. So two on simple interest, compound interest, one on numbers, something based on numbers, and the another question which I got on data sufficiency is modulus based. Okay, so this time the interesting feature which I noticed in NMAT was increase in the number of algebra questions. So until last year it used to be like two or three at max questions on algebra, but this time there were six questions. There were two questions on logarithm, there were two questions on sequences. Okay, there was one question on inequality, one question on quadratic equation. So total six questions. Plus, if you count this question also, data sufficiency also. So there were seven questions that tested algebra. Okay, so that was something that was unprecedented. Usually, you get lower questions, lower number of questions, like at least maximum three, say four questions you get on algebra. But this time, I saw that. A total of 6 plus 1 question on data sufficiency from algebra. So that was the highlight of this. The number of questions in arithmetic reduced. Okay, so there were a couple of questions on like SIC. I think there was one question apart from these. A couple of questions on percentages, ratios, mixture, profit loss, time and work, average. So it covered all these. Okay, so that is like around nine questions on arithmetic. Modern maths, there were questions on permutation combinations, probability, set theory. Okay, set theory, the Venn diagram thing that you get. Like there are some players, right? They play different sports. Right? Some player play one sport, two sports. Some people do not play any of the sports. Okay, and the ratio of those players was given. So it was like you can call a standalone question that I found lengthy. Then questions on probability and permutation combination were present. Then number based question also, units digit based, factors based question was there, questions based on divisibility. So that was the distribution of the quant section. Now I got only two DI sets. Some people might get three DI sets. So if you get three DI sets, then your the word problems would reduce. So since I had just two DI sets, I had more word problems, and interestingly, the number of word problems increased in the algebra part for me. Okay, so that can vary from person to person, right? So this was the breakup of the examination which I had. Now not everyone will have similar thing, there will be some changes. Okay, some people will get more questions on a particular type, some people might get only two RCs. Okay, if you get two RCs, probably you will have uh, like uh, if you get only two RCs, you will have more questions on error spotting and others. Okay, so that is how it is going to be. Right. So let's now talk about the cutoff part, because a lot of you might be interested that what would be the cutoff for NMAT this time. Although the paper, I would say that like there was a slight deviation from the last year, which I encountered, but it happens. Different slots, there are different difficulty level. किसी के easy हो सकता है, किसी का difficult हो सकता है. Plus, as I admit that I struggled in the LR section, so probably I could have scored more also. So it is fault on my part that I could not do well. So I would blame the paper for it. Okay, so cutoff would, I would say that these were the cutoffs last year, and it would be at par with this year also. So my prediction for different like colleges like NMMS Mumbai, it is going to be around 235 mark only, right? It can like there could be variation within 5 mark range, or not 230, definitely 230 plus. हो सकता है 232 चले जाए, हो सकता है it can go up to 238 also, but I think, I believe that it will be sub 235 only. It won't go, very unlikely that it will go beyond 235, likely to go in this range. Now, if we talk about the sectional cutoffs, see, LS sectional cutoff is usually higher, right? In every year, you have 75 plus as the cutoff for Mumbai program. QS in 2023 it was 71. In 2022 it was 69. I believe that it is also going to be around 70 only. Okay, LR also might be around the 70 mark. So 70, 75, 70. So if you are getting above these, now that could be a borderline case also. Sometimes it might happen that 69 could also be the cutoff. Okay, so like that are going to be the range of scores. And if you talk about the other ones, other institutes have slightly lower end cutoffs on the lower end. So if you talk about Bangalore, Navi Mumbai, the cutoffs are going to be around 220 to 225, probably on the higher side close to 225. Then you have XIMB, which accepts several examinations, not only just NMAT. Their cutoffs is usually 230 plus range. KJ Somaya around 220 to 230, maybe 225 or so. Tapmi, it has other factors also. It has profile and other things also. So if your profile is good, right? If your profile is positive, maybe at you can get at 215 also. If your profile is average, you might need 225. Okay, so same goes with these institutes and others like the ones which are tier 2 institutes, or these are lesser preferred institutes. These could be the cutoff range. Like SDA Bocconi also has profile based, so 190 for grade profile and 210 for average profiles. Okay, so that is about the expected cutoffs. Now you must be waiting for one of the things, which is, what are you waiting for? The kind of questions that were asked. Okay, so we are going to discuss those questions. So before that, please do like the video. So once right, we get a sufficient number of likes, we will discuss that as well. Okay, so let's now discuss that some of the memory based questions. Okay, and what was asked in NMAT this time. So this is a question, probability of success. So please do prepare probability well. Modern math, if you have ignored, you should prepare it, because modern math se question aate hi. For the past 2 3 years I've been seeing that good number of questions are asked in modern math. What do you mean by length of CR? There has to be something, right? What is meant by length of CR? So uh, some CR is basically paragraph based, uh, 3 to 4 sentences, right? Some is point based, uh, a statement given, and then you have to, like, they will give you a short statement, and then let's say three courses of action, or three or four strong arguments, weak arguments, kind of thing. Okay. No, our mocks are not adaptive, but yes, they do contain the kind of questions that are asked in uh, NMAT. How many rough sheets? Acha, in my center, they provided just three rough sheets. They said that we will not give beyond three rough sheets, but I think that was sufficient. Okay, so can you answer this question? Like up to two places of decimal. The probability of a success of an event is 15%. What is the probability of at least one success in three attempts? So I was just. So can you answer this up to two decimal places? The probability of at least one success in three attempts. Okay, so let's see this question. The probability of success is 15%. So probability of failure is 85%. or you can say that it is 17 by 20. Okay, so that is 17 by 20 is the probability of failure. Now at least one success is 1 minus no success. 1 minus no success. Okay, so we are attempting 3 times. So 1 minus 17 by 20 whole cube, because it is 3 times. Okay, so that is what you will get. So that is 1 minus 17 cube is 4913 by 8000. So 4913 will be like in terms of decimals. If you write 80 into 8 into 6 is 8 6 are 48 1 1. So 118 uh, 1 and 4. So minus that will be 0.39. So it was asked in terms of decimal points. So it will be 0.39. Okay, so or 39%, roughly 39%. So you would be given options like 39%, 45%, 42%. So what would be the probability of success, at least one success in 3 attempts? Okay, so that was a similar question was asked in NMAT today. Okay, so next is this number based puzzles. Okay, so you can expect number based puzzles on NMAT, and there could be one questions on this. So which number will be filled in the blank? So there were a couple of questions on number based. And in such questions, if the logic clicks instantly, you should solve. If not, then you should avoid such questions, because such questions are usually tempting. We tend to attempt those questions. We think, कि चलो यार ये question तो हो ही जाएगा. Okay, and we find these questions interesting. But the lesson should be that if the logic clicks instantly, then only go ahead and do those questions. If not, just avoid those questions. So can anyone think of what would be the logic in this and solve this one? Okay, so we have 16 and 11 and 23. Now, it has to do, generally, there is some addition or subtraction. Like, yeah, or addition, multiplication, subtraction needs to be done with this. Now, as I said, that these questions are sometimes tempting and can take a lot of time also. Okay. If you see this 16, think of some addition of these numbers or multiplication of these numbers. So they have given three numbers. Okay, and if you are not good at these things, please mark those questions randomly and move on. I also took some time to figure it out. So generally it is like this will not be a multiple. Some people think if 4 cookies is a multiply kar diya. No, this is 11 is prime. So something has to be added or subtracted from these product of numbers. Okay, now on careful observation, there is no such thing ki there is some hard and fast rule ki yehi hoga, right? On careful observation, if you notice, 4 into 6 is what? 24, and add these two. So 24 minus 8, that will be 16. Second one, it is 16 minus 5, that is 11. 28 minus 5 is equal to 23. Now if I tell you, it looks easy. ठीक है, अभी तो इजी लग रहा है ना कि अरे हाँ ये तो लॉजिक है, लास्ट के दो मल्टीप्लाई कर दो, बीच के दो ऐड कर दो और सब्ट्रैक्ट कर दो. नाउ इन द एग्जामिनेशन hall, believe me that such things do not strike that easily. Okay, you already have pressure to perform. And even if you are very good at it, even I struggle to solve this. Like, I took a lot of time to figure it out that what would be the logic in this question. So 8 into 3 will be 24 minus 6. The answer is going to be 18. So that missing number here is 18. Okay, so how many of you were able to click this instantly? किस किस को click हुआ, किसको नहीं हुआ? Okay, so such questions could be, like, especially if you are attempting snap, there will be more such questions. And NMAT में तो एक या दो आते हैं. Snap में you will have 5 6 questions. That could be, yeah, so the logic could be horizontal, it could be vertical. Okay, so that is why it is quite challenging to figure out the logic instantly. So if things click instantly, great. If do not, then just avoid those questions. Okay, so this is a question on logarithm. I guess logarithm, all of you must have studied. Please cover logarithm well, because definitely you will get questions from logarithms. A question to aata hai. This time there were two questions. So answer this question. What is the answer to this? So you have two equations given. Okay, basic logarithm. ठीक है, इक्वेशन डिफिकल्ट नहीं है, बेसिक लॉगरिथम. तो दिस इज अ बेसिक क्वेश्चन ऑन लॉग. What is x square plus y square? Let me see how many of you have studied logarithm. So log 2, so we will take the terms together. Like, we will have this as log base 2 x plus 3 minus log 2 x minus 3 equals to 2, right? So whenever you have a base and subtraction, so that becomes log 2 x plus 3 upon x minus 3. Okay, and whenever you have, this is your base, this is your power. Okay, so 2 raised to the this is equal to 2. So what is 2 raised to the power 2? 4. So it becomes x plus 3 upon x minus 3 is equal to 4. So we have x plus 3 is equal to 4x minus 12, or x is equal to 3x equal to 9, 3x equal to 15, x equal to 5. Okay, one is this, right? And second equation, like, we have log 3 2y plus 6 upon y minus 1. Basic logarithm questions. So अगर आपने basic भी नहीं किए हैं, you might struggle in these questions also. So that is equal to 1. Okay, so that means 2y plus 6 is equal to upon y minus 1 equal to 3. That is equal to 3y minus 3, or y is equal to 9. Okay, x5 y9, x square plus y square is 25 plus 81, 106. So your basics in logarithm should be clear. Logarithm से एक दो question expect कर सकते हो. So there were two questions on logarithm this time. Last year also there were two questions. So please ensure that you cover logarithms well. Okay. How many 5-digit numbers can be formed using only 1 and 2 such that they are divisible by 6? Okay, so please do not ignore number system. Okay, some people think कि चलो खाली arithmetic करके चले जाते हैं, arithmetic से हो जाएगा. So one need to be prepared on all things. So how many such numbers do you have? Okay, so this seems to be a challenging one. You need to make 5-digit numbers only 1 and 2, right? So they are divisible by 6. 6 means last digit has to be 2 only, right? You cannot put the last digit as 1, right? Because if you put the last digit as 1, it will not be divisible by 2. Okay, so last digit is 2. Now we have 4 more digits to be put. Now it is divisible by 6. That means the sum of digits is divisible by 3, right? Sum of digits, divisibility by 6 is divisibility by 2 and 3. So we have checked the divisibility by 2. Let us think of the divisibility by 3. Right? Now, see, one thing is we have to fill remaining 4 digits. Now we can put 1111. So that is one way to fill the number. 11112, one number. Okay, now next thing is, if we fill the last digit as 2 and not ones, can we make 2222? No, you focus on the sum of digits. Now here the sum of digits is 6, right? Sum of digits is 6, so it is divisible by 3. Next sum of digits can be 9 also. This is the minimum sum of digits, right? This is the minimum sum of digits. Next sum of digits can be, this was 6, we check that. Next let us check of 9, 12, etc. Now even if you put 22222, that is not going to give you 12, right? So sum of digits is either 6 or 9. Now sum of digits is 9, we can use only 1 and 2. So that means we need to use 4 times 2 and 1 times 1. Now this one can occupy this place, this place, this place, or this place. Right? One can occur in any of the 4 places. Right? So there are 4 ways of arranging in this format. So there are a total of 5 such numbers. 4 places of arranging this one. It could come in this position, this, or this position. So 4 possible positions for one, and one case wherein you will have 4 times 1 and 2. So there are a total of 5 such cases. So the ones who got 5 is the right answer. Okay. A person invested an equal sum in two schemes at 6% compound interest. One offers an annual rate of interest and another is compounded semi-annually. If the amount in the schemes differ by rupees 36, find the amount invested in each scheme. So compound interest, you do get questions from this topic, simple interest, compound interest. So arithmetic, one must cover all topics. Right now there is some perception, and that there is time speed distance is not asked. And I've encountered also there are very few questions on time speed distance, so people often ignore that topic. But others like simple interest, compound interest, mixture, allocation, right, profit loss, time and work, at least cover those thoroughly. Ratios, percentages, etc. should be covered thoroughly, especially these applications of percentages. So can you answer this question? It can be answered quite quickly if you know the compounding factors, that how to put the compounding factors here. Now, if you are applying formula in such question, then you will have to you might struggle in these questions. Okay, now see this thing. If it is 6% compound interest, if it is compounded annually, the amount will be 1.06 times. Yeah, amount will be 1.06. If it is compounded semi annually, that means it is 1.03 whole square. So in this case, 1.0609. Now it is about squaring of the numbers. Okay, so that is the values, and if you subtract it, you will get 0.0009 times of p is equal to 36, right? So 9p, we will write 4. Okay, and we need to take 4 zeros, like, to make it an integer. So p will be equal to 40,000. Okay, so this kind of question, compound interest compounded annually, semi-annually, is quite frequent in NMAT. Even last year or last to last year, I've encountered questions that test your ability in the percentage-based topics like profit loss. Okay, there were some questions on profit loss also, good questions on profit loss, which uh, tested your ability in percentages. So you should have strong hold over percentages. You should have strong hold over ratios, etc. to do well on arithmetic. One thing which I noticed this time, that arithmetic was unlike last year, which used to have lengthy arithmetic. Arithmetic was on the easier side as compared to the last year, but there was more of algebra. There were some good questions on numbers as well. Okay. Acha, I just typed it. It was for 1 year. I just typed the question. Right. It is for 1 year. Okay. All right, so these were some of the questions, a replica of some of the questions. So we are going to discuss more questions, replica of questions of NMAT that were asked in today's class in our NMAT course, the course that we are running. And these classes will be hosted for free. So even if you are not an enrolled student, that's perfectly fine. You can watch these classes for free. So starting tomorrow for the next 5 days at 5 p.m., we will be having these classes on our website. Okay, so the sign up link is given in the description of this video. You can just sign up for the course and watch these classes live at 5 p.m. And tomorrow we will be covering quant and DI. Next, we will have LR, critical reasoning. One more class on quant and DI, because I mean, it is more questions can be covered of quant and DI. And one session will be on language skills as well. So the sign up link is given in the description of this video, so you can sign up for the course. You do not have to buy the course. Even if you enroll for free, you can watch these classes. So starting tomorrow, we will be taking these sessions on our website, so you can watch those. So this is the course that we have for NMAT and SNAP. So in case you are preparing for these two examinations collectively, it is going to be a holistic preparation, which is provide you, we have 150 plus hours of classes. So we have covered all the classes. So these classes are available in the form of recordings. So practice sheets of all topics are provided, and the exam specific topics have been covered. The Snap and NMAT exclusive both. And then we have a Telegram and WhatsApp group for doubt resolution. Along with this, you will get full length NMAT mocks, Snap mocks, CR practice test, and English grammar practice course within this course itself. And we have slashed the price of this course. Now it is available for 8,000. You can check out the link given in the description of this video. And in case you are preparing for these examinations, we have mocks also, which you can buy separately. NMAT mocks, NMAT CR tests. Okay, critical reasoning, it has 500 questions. Then we have a grammar practice course which will help you for different examinations. And as I said, that there were a lot of questions that tested in error spotting, which were based on the rules that we have covered in this book. And then we have snap mock test also, where we have 20 marks for snap. And mat we have 10 marks, snap we have 20. And in case you are preparing for cat and omet mocks, we have a bundle which includes mocks for all exams: cat, NMAT, ZAT, mycat, whatever MBA entrance examinations you can think of. Okay, so you can check that out. Okay, so that was about NMAT's examination today, that how it turned out to be, what kind of questions, what were how it was different from last year's. So don't worry about the cutoffs and other part, because no one can predict that, but it is in one particular range. Like as I said, that around 235 for NMMS Mumbai. So it was like at par with, like I would say that there were slight variations. So my say would be that do not ignore any topic. And some people, what they do is they just have selective preparation. वो सोचते हैं कि let's say कि in quant we will skip algebra, we will skip number system. So don't do that, because that can be a challenging thing. Let's say, for example, someone skipped algebra would have found this thing to be challenging, because there were more questions on algebra this time. Then another lesson which I would like to give is, if you find something challenging in the examination, just try to skip that. For example, like as I encountered that input output, I was struggling in finding the logic, but despite that, I spent a lot of time in solving that. Because of that, I was unable to attempt more questions in a proper manner. Then I had to just randomly mark other answers. Okay, so that is the advice from my side. So all the best to all the test takers who are going to appear on NMAT this year. I hope this video must have been a very comprehensive one, giving quite details about the examination, how it turned out to be, plus some questions we discussed, the kind of questions that were asked in the examination. And for more questions, you can enroll in our course for free. Okay, we are not like we are hosting those classes for free on our course. For the next 5 days, we will be discussing the questions that were asked, like replica of questions that were asked in NMAT this time. So you can watch those classes live at 5 p.m. Okay, so that's for this class. I hope you found this session valuable. So please don't forget to like the video once you end the stream.